rotate early. They've got a decent amount of information already. Push through the smoke. Snappy will be picking up too. And already this is looking bleak. Can the CT side at least do a little bit of damage? So far not looking so good. Snappy with the third, making a whole lot of cash here for his team. Well, now it's only DD and Captain Mo left.
Yeah, Captain Mo is going to retreat as he looks to try and hold on. DD is dedicated quite far forward. It is going to be a third round for Heroic. The buy comes in next round for TyLoo. No, it does not. That's my bad, Tom. That's fake news.
There will now be T-side keeping every single man alive for that one. A little bit of money made. The CT side actually do have a decent amount of cash on some of the players. I don't think they're going to go for a force in this round. I think it'd be a little bit much, but Buntet actually just going to go for a little bit more in terms of the CZ and the armor. Execure actually going to pick up a UMP. It will still leave him with enough to buy an AWP into the next round. Doesn't have any armor, so if anything, maybe give that over to Captain Mo and then he takes the Deeg. I think that makes a little bit more sense, but clearly he's looking to try and make that extra money. The CT side, they have a chance to do some more damage. The only problem is if they don't, the Ts are just going to be allowed to build up so much extra economy. Push will be coming in over towards this A side of the map for now. And a peek down banana from the CTs may net them a bit of extra information. You can already see they're going to start doubling back extra players over towards this side. The problem is they may be just that little bit too late. The execution from Heroic has already begun. Modi will be the first in, spots out Excurate, a nice easy kill. Snappy finds the second as well, leaving two players completely sectioned off. But Captain Mo actually does manage to drop the bomb.
Yeah, that's the bomb dropped out in the open. That's massive. It's bought some time as well for somebody to get here, enjoying the rest of the pack. Captain Mo now going to go down at Buntet and somebody left. They're going to start to fall on back. TyLoo won't be going for this. Heroic going to be in with a fourth. And this is it's a good return from Heroic to get things back under control. If you remember, they win the pistol, they lose that force buy from TyLoo. Then they win the force of their own. It has just been forced by wars, but Heroic, they're the ones to reap the benefits of that. Keeping 4 players alive here as well is going to be fantastic.
And actually, yeah, that's going to be all the extra money made. Now, the big problem is that although they've now got their buy, they've got the AWP, everything that they desire, managing to bounce back like that for Heroic has just made them so much money. We already see like the majority of their players around that sort of even 5,000 marker. And Snappy, well, he's going to keep the UMP. They're actually going to use this as a bonus round. Now, a bonus round coming in on round number 6 sort of shows how the economy game has gone so far. Excurate will have his AWP. Molotov is going to be thrown. Now, this has been interesting so far because although we haven't seen the money yet from TyLoo, it does look like Heroic are in a much more execute-heavy style on this map, and that could work out, but already the aggression into apartments works out perfectly for the CT side. Captain Mo and Excurate managing those initial frags. Snappy is looking to try and find some sort of trade. He can at least upgrade to an AK-47, but other than that, it is looking bleak, and you can see the deep position from somebody as well, meaning that there once again is 4 players over towards this site. However, he at least needs to get a kill here, because if he goes down without much else, okay, Buntet's now rotating in, so it changes it a bit, but he'll still make things quite difficult for Buntet. Sat in this corner, rounding the corner will be Snappy. He gets one, looks for a second, and then Buntet pounces to pick up the third. Somebody doing work, TyLoo on the board, and more importantly, they keep every single person alive.
Yeah, great stuff from somebody there. Buntet is able to help out, and now for Heroic, it is going to be a buy. They should be able to actually fill the buy into the next round as well, but it won't be pretty for two of these players. Yugi's got the AWP out for Heroic. Gonna be a push up top of Banana here. Pentek gonna get Molotov down. Luckily enough, his Molly does manage to pick up Snappy. Rubino loses the duel to somebody, and that's the man advantage taken for TyLoo. Rotation coming in from Accurate. Sees him taking up position here inside at this B bomb site along with somebody. That nade gonna find a lot of damage onto Yugi. Heroic now just trapped over in mid. But it looks like they're going to start to head up Banana here towards this B-bomb site.
Once again, it's only going to be one man here. Excurate has the AWP in hand. And that angle he's taken should allow him to potentially just get that one pick. Now, on the other side of the map, Modi is looking to try and just be that man to hold off rotations. And considering there's still 3 players here from the CT side, he has a decent chance of doing it. Now, into the next round, both teams with a similar amount of money, but the loss bonus won't really help them too much. A lot of this will come into Excurate and what he's able to do. And already he picks off that first, then uses his utility to try and hold back any further aggression. Only going to be one man here, and the rotations aren't really being held by Modi. Yugi has a lot left to do, and he'll be taken down by Excurate as well. Nice hold onto the site. Modi has no choice but to try and save his weapon. And in terms of the next round buy, I think they'll probably still go for it, but Nico may be a little bit low on cash.
Yeah, no, Nico was the only man that you had to worry about, and Modi can actually drop something over here. Admittedly, well, enough for an AK, but you can see him drop maybe a Galil or something of the likes. TyLoo gonna be onto a third. Double up set up in play now as somebody picks one up as well. Curious to see how they fare with this double AWP setup. A chance as well, I think, you know, for TyLoo to and like I think it'll be funny if they win, right? Because, you know, obviously they had Peacemaker in as their coach, and then to beat the team that he's coaching. I mean, I feel like they're, even though they say it's all like good terms, you still want to win this. For either side, you know, like there's a little bit more at stake in that regard. A little bit of revenge, perhaps, for TyLoo, or a chance for...
Well, it depends which way you look at it,
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
though, because
ways.
Peacemaker was almost forced by the organization to try and play in the major. So, if anything, I think he might be the one looking for a little bit more revenge. I don't think there's actually any bad blood between the players and Peacemaker, just for the record. Or actually, I know that for a fact.
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying it from like the perspective of it'll be like a satisfying win.
I think either way, both teams, as I said, they're going to be able to go 2-1. Again, we're going to see a bit more of a sort of abstract position from this CT side. They're going to look to play only towards short, allow the arch side to be taken, but already early damage has been done. The force buy has come in the meantime from the T side. They've not got the best buy, but still got AKs on the majorities of player, and now we're going to have just extra utility being expended. Again, this is something TyLoo did very well previously, just holding on to all of those nades until the latter portion of the round, making things difficult. Already now, mid-control finally goes the way of this T-side, but they've only got 30 seconds left already. Buntet is going to start things off, looking for more aggression. Pop flash doesn't work. Another player is here, though. DD just trading. I'm going to leave it down to just one on the site. Modi's found two. Excurate trying to hold on, but he's not going to be able to. And with 15 seconds left, the bomb will be going down. A second AWP is rotating in. Somebody looking for the pick. Gets the first, but can't quite do it. Snappy will be there to trade. Heroic bounce back. And now the money for TyLoo, well, it's going to be hurting a bit. Somebody will have an AWP if he wants it. And DD can buy up with a rifle. Same for Excurate, so they may look to go for something here. But Buntet and Captain Mo with 2,000 and below, that's going to make things quite a bit more difficult. The only thing I would say is, just based on the fact that Heroic aren't going to have much money, that could make things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how TyLoo we're going to approach this one, Tom. There's a little bit of cash on a few of the players. Somebody currently with 5,000, but it looks like they're just going to opt to go for a save almost across the board. He does finally invest in a CZ and some armor. He can get the AWP into the next round anyway, which is what they want. They have a little bit to work with, but Heroic, they're the ones you'd expect to be winning this round. Mac 10 up on Rubino to make some cash. There are 3 players without armor, and even somebody who doesn't have head armor. So this Mac 10 is going to be lethal. Somebody. He's all the way down Banana, and there are lots of players here waiting. Rubino going to be watching the smoke. It all comes down to timing here. He might try flash them through. As the smoke starts to fade, they're going to go in. Somebody now peeks out. He gets 2, and that's the bomb dropped as well. Buntet, we've seen these two been a bit of a dynamic duo down here towards Banana. He's never going to get anything. He does just fall back, but it's a good start given to TyLoo from somebody.
Yeah, he is the master of that CZ. Yugi posted up with the AWP. Again, we're just going to see those 2 players right back on B. But Tech can be flashed in, but won't get anything done. And at the moment, Heroic just trying to find positions on the map that they can take. This is interesting from the CT side. They've thrown a smoke just to sort of bait out the idea that there's players here and started rotating both off. Buntet will come back towards this B site. Pushing around the edge of the smoke is going to be Modi as they now look to execute onto this site. Remember, this is only a save round coming out from TyLoo. The next is where they look to purchase already. A little bit of damage done from Excura on the cross. 15 seconds left on the clock. Buntet sat in the corner. Already manages to pick up 1 and just going for the plant in the smoke. Can he find Rubino? Both players spamming, but the bomb goes down. It won't matter though. They've stolen a round away. The AWP is going to be saved. The bomb's going to be defused. And TyLoo, once again, they managed to win a round based off of these pistols.
And it all comes down to that start from somebody. That's what gets the ball rolling. And then that play in towards the back of the site from Buntet. Just waiting patiently. They don't discover him fast enough. And that will be, as you say, a 4th for TyLoo. They are looking good in these pistols. Loot bets show Heroic, they're the more favoured in this. I can agree, though. I can agree with the sentiment that it's a close match. I mean, I would take the TyLoo bet all day long. I think they've looked very good.
It's their own. I don't agree.
Tom. Put your money where your mouth is, Tom.
Well, I have. I've put my prediction.
But that's not money, Tom.
My prediction
holds no monetary value.
It's worth much more than money. It's got my pride on the line, which is value beyond no belief.
You have no pride left. Okay? You gave that up a long time ago.
At least I didn't switch to supporting Renegades halfway through the match.
I've supported Renegades from day 1, Tom. Here we go. Yugi has been able to get rid of DD early on. So these pistols, for either side, actually doing a lot of work. Heroic, they've got the early man advantage. Somebody's left aggressive down the bottom of Banana. Heroic going to emerge from their hidey hole. Nope. Might go back in. The meerkat technique. Peek your head out, check around, go back down, rinse, repeat. They're going to start to make their way over here towards short, where Captain Mo does stand. He's running a bit low on ammo, though. This is going to be a bit of a problem as they start to come his way. Now he's in with a deagle as well. Ooh. Oh, Captain Mo. Okay, he's going to show that he's a bit more proficient with these pistols than the rest of Heroic. TyLoo, they're in with a 5th round, and almost the ace for Captain Mo.
Yeah, still though, considering what was invested, 3 players, dropped. So the CT side, well, their money's going to take a bit of a hit. The thing is, managing to win that round with pistols when they were already saving a few thousand is going to make a big difference to how much money they have overall. And actually, when you look at the amount of money they have left, even if they lose this next round, they'll probably still be buying into the next. Heroic are actually going to take themselves a pause over on this T side. And we are just going to be waiting to see what they're going to come up with. There's still no AWP available for Yugi. It has actually been fairly quiet. In fact, it's Yugi and Nico both at the bottom of the board for their team at the moment. Not what I was expecting going into things. As said, those are the players on train at least who I do expect to have the big performances. Yugi with the AWP, Nico normally playing a more catalyst role towards that B site. I'm expecting big things from them. But let's see if they can look to steal away the map pick of their opponent. The strat book of TyLoo was written by the coach on the other side. A bit of spam coming in, but in these early round situations, Heroic haven't looked to really take much control of Banana. There's 3 players currently there over towards that B site, leaving the A site a little bit vulnerable. Now, the one thing I will say, there's plenty to exploit in this TyLoo defense. They do take a lot of risks. I like the fact that they do. It makes things quite interesting and can work out wonderfully in their favor. But it means that if the demos have been watched, Peacemaker should have been able to give his team a little bit of insight into how this TyLoo team are going to play. They've gone for the 4-man gamble, leaving Excura alone towards that B site, and already damage is going to be done, but the first kill still comes in for Captain Mo, the monster in the pit.
Now they're going to start to look to come on in. Captain Mo, he's in with a second. He's been on a tear right now over here towards A. He's going to be back-to-back with Buntet. Buntet's able to trade. That's the bomb drop, and there's still DD inside of the site. Buntet in with a second. Now it's Yugi. He's not able to step up to the mark of TyLoo. They will be in with a 6th round. Money reset for Heroic here. Buy going to be coming back in from TyLoo, and a chance for them to make some money, perhaps. Not going to be purchasing up any SMGs, just playing it safe.
Yeah, this is already a great resurgence from TyLoo. Money starting to build once again, and it should be built even more, though these pistols have been effective so far from Heroic. Push going to be coming up Banana. Excura finds one, a second as well, and it is just a slaughter of Heroic. The Asian side not taking a single point of damage. Now the T's are in with a buy once again. Again, no AWP. It's not always expected over on the T side of Inferno. Well, we are... I kind of want to see Heroic go back to that sort of execute style they did versus the Pistols, just sectioning off the site with all of those smokes and then looking for the entry that way, because the fact is burning down this clock really does actually help TyLoo out. They love sitting so passively. They love waiting for that timer to really tick away. This round at least, they are throwing in a little bit of aggression, mainly over towards that apartment. In fact, everybody's watching apartment. The push through mid catches him a little bit, but DD's the second person lurking in the darkness. But Yugi has managed to find himself a second. All the players over towards this A side of the map will fall. And now we get to see if Buntet and somebody can work that retake.
Yeah, we were praising the TyLoo retakes yesterday. Will that hold true now? Buntet boosted over. Hasn't managed to spot anything just yet. Yugi looking like he might try peeking into this. Modi's going to hear them drop down. He knows there is a man here. Somebody's going to get legged, and that is it. The save call comes in. TyLoo go for the retreat, and Heroic, they're going to be on to a 6th round. TyLoo keep 2 rifles up, provided that no one goes down, so they can buy into the next round regardless. It is going to be a good round from Heroic as they move to their 6th on the board.
Yeah, TyLoo trying something a little bit different in that round, and unfortunately for them, it's the one round that Heroic actually decide to burst out mid, so their sort of double defense over towards Apps didn't really work out too well from them. Interestingly, I'm actually quite surprised DD actually only manages to get 1 kill there. Maybe a little bit more trigger discipline. He could have got more, because it's unlikely that they would have expected a second player to just be waiting in the apartments. Either way, we now get to see that AWP onto Yugi. He got a couple of kills in that last round. Double AWP setup will come in for Captain Mo and Excura. Now remember, Captain Mo didn't really pick up the AWP yesterday, but he used to be the primary AWPer for this team. So definitely is a man, a flashy AWPer at that. Again, we're going to see multiple players over towards this B side of the map. Deep Molotov actually doing a huge amount of damage onto Rubino. Nico and Modi this time a little bit wary about taking control of Apps. Of course, in the previous round, we saw 3 players up there. Captain Mo will be here with the AWP. He does hit the shot, doesn't get the kill, but it's a second low player now for Heroic. 21 and 11 HP on Rubino and Modi. Back to Banana they go. once again, we've seen this gamble play come out from TyLoo, sending 4 players over towards that A side of the map, leaving Excurate alone. Now, previously, he has done quite well in this position. Pop Flash will take them over, and instantly, the second any sound is made, we see somebody start rotating his way back, making his way forward, allowing those 3 players to just stay deep in the site. It does mean that there's potential for a wraparound if anybody was able to get onto that arch side, but we see DD looking to pick up that defense, and I think it's quite clear that this is going to be a B hit coming out from the T's.
Yeah, they flashed themselves through. There's a man on coffins. A man through that smoke in CT. They go ahead and re-smoke, and that's going to now force Heroic in through it. They wait for that to fade. They're going to have about 8 seconds left, so they have to go through. Accurate now up on top of the coffins. He finds the first. Rubino's been allowed to get past somebody. Bomb will be picked up. Accurate tries to deny it. Just going to miss the first and the second. He actually tags Nico, but doesn't manage to get the kill. It's a 4-on-4, and everyone for Heroic is wounded. It's this monstrous flank coming in from Modi that could make all the difference. They've got no idea. He's in behind a lot of them. Captain Mo's gone down. He pounces now. That's going to keep the pressure on. Buntet turns around and does manage to find him, but it's bought time. Buntet about to make his way in. Didi and Accurate out from Ruins. Excurate's able to land it. Now it is just Yugi left. 1 versus 3, and he's going to go down. TyLoo get it done in the retake. In spite of the flank from Modi, it is going to be an 8th round now for TyLoo.
Yeah, another showing of a strong retake from the TyLoo side. Well, I think the lower HP players definitely played a part in it, but at the same time, props where props are due, and they are going to take themselves that first half victory. Yugi will be back on that AWP once again. Double AWP setup purchased for the CT side, and I feel like it has been fairly effective so far. Captain Mo hasn't quite had the same effect he had in the pit before. Still been doing quite well, and somebody's actually going to get burnt down a little bit to 70 HP. Again, Apps control going to be a point of contention. Looking like they may just double peek towards the position of Captain Mo, holding the angle. This time doesn't manage to connect the shot and takes some initial damage. The nade will do more, and he's actually going to go back and takes the pick instead. Great work from Captain Mo. Yugi in the meantime trying to sneak around towards short. Again, it's such a passive hold from TyLoo back towards the site that they really have to go peeking into aggressive angles, and when you have just this raw individual skill on TyLoo and that AWP, it becomes so much more difficult. In fact, they're going to try and utilize the boost to give them a little bit of an off angle.
Yeah, this is a good way for Yugi to try and find an opener. He's creeping in. There's no way they check this. Didi, his head's visible. He's got no idea. Yugi just going to miss that opportunity, and now he's going to hop down. Excurate going to miss the shot. Yugi does tag him, but doesn't quite find it up in the air. Excurate's going to be able to get that shot, and now, with only 30 seconds, he's on to a second. Snappy now pounces in from behind. He's able to get 1. Captain Mo goes down inside the site. It all falls to somebody. He starts to creep in. He spots the head of Snappy. Modi going to be tagged. Snappy peeks out, and Snappy wins it with 17 HP to spare. Heroic, they lock themselves in a 7th round, and the half is going to go 8-7. Still with a round advantage the way of TyLoo, but Heroic make a nice recovery there in at the end. And one thing I have been liking, Tom, I do love the TyLoo setup on their CT side on Inferno.
I think it's just irritating. I think that's what it is, because unless you're like specifically countering it, it's very difficult to just find openers into the site, and a lot of these players just aren't missing shots, so it's not so much of a problem for them. Like, you have people in the pit who can just sit back, you have people just able to sort of take information on the other side of the map, and then you have just like an AWP sort of set up over towards that B site, which then just seems to find the pick every single time. It's just smart play, and they keep trying to be dynamic as well. Like, one round they'll have Captain Mo going aggressive into the apartments, then they'll have 3 players in apartments, then they'll have no one there. They're all back towards the site itself, and it just means that Heroic spends so much of the round just trying to clear all these different angles that it comes down to the last 40-30 seconds to actually execute onto the site. Either way, Now we have to see what they can do over on their T side, and already it will be the first kill going their way. Yugi has had quite a quiet game, but he will manage to get a pick here. The wraparound coming in. Snappy is waiting. Both players somewhat missing their shots, but eventually he's overwhelmed, and Yugi shall be as well. The wraparound towards this A site begins. Or B site, sorry. Somebody trying to hold off rotations, but is low, so it goes down, and is given a chance now to Heroic.
Yeah, X3 going to be holding all the way down now leaves it on his teammates DD and Captain Mo. Inside of B, bomb ticking down. Kit has been retrieved. Rubino's able to open up. Nice trade from DD. Now he's going to fall. X3. Modi's there. Modi's going to win the duel on the first, and now the brains behind Heroic has to try and step up. He reads the situation well, and X3, he doesn't last the minute. It will be the round going the way of Heroic. They're on to an 8th. They win the pistol around here on the CT side in spite of everything going right initially for TyLoo.
Yeah, no, they manage the wraparound. They get all of the kills, but a little bit of a... I felt like there were a couple of overfaces there. The sort of second to last kill, I think, was on Didi going for that battle versus Modi at the end. That wasn't really necessary, and it leaves his teammate in a bit of a horrible situation. Somebody's one was a little bit more understandable, but he was so low on HP that maybe staying alive would have been. But that's more of a hindsight sort of thing. Either way, T-side will invest some money into this round. Actually, a bit of a weird one from them because they got the bomb down. So they're going to go with a Deagle and a CZ. CZ's on the majority of players. But then 2 of the players going into the next round won't really be able to buy properly. So they may need another bomb plant. It will give them the chance to actually do extra damage. And you never know. It could just be the fact that they really want the AWP in play and may just look to save a little bit extra. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, nice start from Captain Mo. He is going to be able to get that kill onto Yugi. Deep push has come in from Snappy as well onto the banana. Will now be, again, 2 players towards his pit. Quite a passive hold now coming in from Heroic. Maybe trying to beat them at their own game. The only problem is they don't have too much information. There's going to be a swarm of players coming towards those 2 pit players. They've got a lot of work to do, and Didi will at least be able to overwhelm 1. However, Rubino from the pit has done work. He will be picking up 3 kills in this round, saving Heroic from any sort of disaster. And it will now be 9-8. But this is where I wonder what TyLoo are going to do. Because they got 3 players who can now buy AKs. Didi and Captain Mo, well, Didi can without head armor. And they are going to go for it. A bit of a weird one, but they do create some cost. Maybe force some rebuys. And Captain Mo, I guess he's fairly happy playing that Deagle at the moment. He's done well with it so far.
Yeah, it is an interesting idea. Nades down mid. For the amount of them, Captain Mo is going to be... feeling fairly lucky he didn't take that much more damage there. Now the good thing is that Heroic have only heard that Deagle chiming in. Still not entirely sure what the plan was here for TyLoo on the side of Heroic. They've been given a lot of control over here towards top mid as Yugi does wait in library. He's able to spot Buntet. That's one of the rifles gone. Captain Mo now going to retrieve it. Good flash to hold the push. But look, Didi's so far forward. Yugi, he has to win this, and he is going to go down. That CT cracked wide open. Now the pressure's on for Rubino and Modi. Do they rotate off? Snappy, as he waits in this corner. If they don't check it, this makes or breaks this round. They will. Snappy's fallen. Somebody now looks to turn his attention over here towards Banana, where Nico will be waiting. And instead, actually, he's going to stick around over in top mid to catch these rotations. Modi might be able to find him. Timing is to be good here. And he just manages to slip by.
Yeah, this could give a false sense of security, actually. It just depends what way somebody is actually looking. He's not going to be noticing the fact that Rubino is here, but because they're backing away, this is just going to be brutal if Rubino doesn't check. I don't know why he would have done. I don't know why he would have expected anybody to be there, leaving only 2 players actually to survive in this scenario. And although they've won the last couple of rounds, it hasn't been particularly clean, thanks to the damage done in the previous. And so Heroic, if they do force, okay, they'll get a rifle dropped, well, or the SMG dropped from Nico. Modi can drop a little bit. Actually, never mind. Nico can't drop anymore. He gets a kill, but he dies to the bomb. So, if anything, I don't even know if this is worth a buy from Heroic. They've got one rifle. They can buy up a second. But other than that, it's just going to be pistols and a UMP. It will be the somewhat forced buy of, okay, we've not got any loss bonus, so it might be worth going for something. But looking like they might just try and play off this one rifle. So TyLoo, early break back. A bit of an interesting buy in the second round to do some extra damage. And now, well, unless Modi can pull off another one of those crazy plays we've seen where an individual rifle wins them around, it's looking like TyLoo are going to be back in the lead.
And I have to be honest, Tom, I am a big fan of a lot of the decisions that TyLoo make. I think in terms of their strategy, how they play their CT side and T side on Inferno, I'm a big fan. I'm subscribing to the TyLoo newsletter. I'm enjoying it. Maybe not the flash there so much from Buntet, but they are certainly a very good team, especially, Tom, for a team that communicates in 2 different languages. You know, you wouldn't expect the strategy to be the thing that you write home about. But right now, they're over here towards top mid. Modi's going to get spotted. That's the one rifle gone. Yugi lines up for them as well. Rubino's going to start creeping forward to try and grab that M4, and he will be allowed to get it. They have gone ahead and found 2 over here towards A. Now they double back, which is good for Rubino. He can now just look to hold on to the M4. Snappy and Nico both boosted up in the back of the site, which is curious. It is going to be an off angle. TyLoo, when they come knocking though. Snappy's able to get one. Now he's got an AK, but that's it. He falls. Rubino left 1 versus 4. And you imagine he's just going to look to try and save that M4 now.
Yeah, bring something into the next round. The extra 1900, especially with that extra rifle, will actually be the difference to give them a buy. He's the one a little bit low on money. The only thing he has to watch out for is DD still lurking in the back lines. The timing is going to work out perfectly as well. Lead taken, pause called from Snappy. Now, in terms of a buy, Nico could drop an AWP for Yugi. Snappy can buy. Rubino, if he does buy, has to go for a UMP. And in fact, Yugi, well, he then has to either drop a FAMAS or something of the sort, or go glass cannon and drop a rifle, which I suppose if he's being given an AWP, he could do. By the looks of things, it's actually going to be the FAMAS option. So they are buying into this round. It's not going to be the best buy for sure. But at least has a decent amount of utility behind it. They've also got a kit and that AWP. And I think that needs to be the difference maker, because the 2 players I highlighted going into this series for Heroic have been fairly quiet. Now, the fact that that's the case and we're still at 10-9 definitely shows that if they step up, they should be theirs to take the game. But at the moment, TyLoo, they've built up a little bit of extra cash. They're going into this T half with now a chance to set Heroic back to nothing in the next round again. And they have the much better buy of the 2.
Yugi goes for that aggro peek and does get Molotov low. Actually, a nade onto the corner here could just spell death for him. He's going to get chipped even lower. 30 HP now. Into CT he goes. But TyLoo, their attention is fixated elsewhere. The object of their desire is A. Nico playing very passively over towards Arch. Does mean as well that all it takes is one smoke to nullify him, and then you've just got the 2 players over in the pit and balcony to worry about. They're going to be over here towards Long. Looking like this is where they're going to head first. And there's the smoke into Arch. Now the pressure's on for poor Nico. He's able to get one. The bomb drops through the smokes. Now they have to keep pushing. Captain Mo is able to go ahead and get rid of 2 players. Modi's still alive. He has to try and make a stand, but he will fall. And now Snappy and Yugi left alive here. 2 versus 3, and they're going to have to save. They start to peel away. Yugi's already tagged too low. The bomb's down, and retaking in even in an even scenario is tricky enough. So it's going to be an 11th round for TyLoo.
Yeah, they have now confirmed themselves the lead, and there isn't going to be a bounce back just yet. Once again, they keep 3 players alive. Great round coming out from Captain Mo just to wipe out those players on the site itself. And yeah, for Heroic, they can't really go for a buy in the next round either. They'll get 2,400. Maybe they get a pistol or 2, but it's not going to be anything ridiculous. And yeah, this is not the greatest start to their CT side. I definitely think losing to those AKs and in that 3rd round has put them on a bit of a slow start to this half. It does mean that Heroic now have won both pistols. It's worth mentioning because they do need to somewhat step up in this scenario. Now they're going to invest a little bit into utility, maybe trying to keep hidden where those weapons are. Snappy and, of course, Yugi. Yugi currently on 9 and 16. Nico 7 and 16, so quite performance from them. Yugi looking to go aggressive. There will be a man holding the angle with the AWP. Actually, Nico's going to be the one to fall. It does allow Yugi to reposition himself. It's only one of the pistols lost. Flashbang goes back in. Smart from Extra, though, just to make sure that he has the angle once again. Yugi is going to be alone over towards this B side of the map. They're just using utility to just try and get rid of him, and that's the sound cue that gives away at least where the AWP is.
And do they keep going into the moors of Yugi? Rotation going to be coming in from Modi. Sees now 2 players, about to be 3 as Reno follows suit. It looks like everyone's rotating off of A, and TyLoo, they've got Heroic's number. They've got ahead and double back. They're just going to be allowed to walk into A. And the idea here, of course, you know, if you're Heroic, you've stacked B. The bomb goes down on A, you don't bother going for the retake. You do just look to save. And if the bomb does head into B, then, you know, you've got 4 players here, so it's a good chance to defend. But it's weird. Like, Tom, one of the things that we all kind of thought heading into this is, you know, Peacemaker, he had a lot to say about the strategy for TyLoo. He was one of the people who really helped them refine all that. And then you know, now you see him coaching Heroic instead. And you kind of imagine, like, that he's going to have the inside scoop as to what TyLoo are doing. But it seems like they're beating Heroic at every turn in terms of the calls that are being made.
Well, I think the other thing you might just be doing is like, why did I teach them that? Why did I tell them how? That's so annoying. I made that one. Just sort of like, oh, they execute that. Oh, I mean, what? Like, obviously can't. His team can't hear him all the time.
It's like his own, you know, his own creation.
Yeah,
he's now betrayed it.
Just like, oh yeah, Excura. That was a good pickup by them actually. If I'd had him. But yeah, for now, we're still yet to see a proper full buy from Heroic with all the utility, everything they desire. I'm hoping that will make the difference for them, because at the moment on their CT side, it has just been a walkover for TyLoo. They've started to make large amounts of money, every single player surviving. But as said, this is it. This is where we get nigh on all of the utility that's needed. Modi a little bit short. They've got kits on pretty much every single player. It is going to take them a little bit to break the money down from TyLoo, but it will at least give them that opportunity. 12-9. TyLoo not far away from taking their map pick. Yugi this time is going to be taking the challenge into mid, although it does seem to be Excurate with his number at the moment. Currently 18 and 11 in the server, and playing very well indeed. This is looking like one of his maps, and while we're actually going to see a fair bit of aggression coming up from the CT side. Throwing the deep smoke. They are going to go pushing. They've got to be careful because shots are coming back through the smoke itself. Secondary will be coming in, and it means that the T's can't actually go for any sort of aggressive peek. And you can see just the difference in strategy. Completely different to what we saw from TyLoo. Lots of aggression, lots of control being attempted towards mid, although we will now see Yugi falling back a little bit. You've got banana control being taken, smokes going all the way down, which is something somebody would do. Nico in the corner, somebody speak his name. He jumps around the corner and takes his head clean off, and now they're going to go chasing. Snappy desperately trying to cling to life to buy some time for the rotations. The Molotov forces him out. Brilliant Molotov from the T side. as they now take over this site. Yugi, he's in the backlines, desperately trying to find something, an opener for Heroic. But that was just a complete change of pace from TyLoo. They find that opening kill, they rush down the second man, but whoever threw that Molotov, that was absolutely perfect. He just seemed to know exactly where Snappy was going to be going and just went, you know what, you can try and stay there all you like. You got 4 players waiting for you.
I love Excurate. He's such a good pickup for TyLoo. Like their calling seems to be refreshed since we see him at the helm of all this. Their decision making has been on point. And yeah, it just seems like, I mean, the thing that I find funny is, you know, we saw them beat Fnatic yesterday. That was like the assault on Sweden, and now all the Scandinavia's bound together in this team. You know, you got the Danes, the Swedes, Norwegians, all trying to stop TyLoo.
And the final boss will be the UK.
No, Tom. Final boss will be, I don't know who it would be, but I guess just like international.
Maybe FaZe.
Yeah.
You get 1 from each. Sort of.
Well, I mean, what do you mean 1 from each? 1 from each of what?
Well, like some of the different countries in Europe.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
What did you think?
Well, that's why I suggested international, Tom.
Yeah, so we put forward FaZe. Oh. Or Cloud9. They've got to beat the might of America. Either way, we've had the pause. The double op setup comes in for Heroic. The money is with them at this point. However, that doesn't seem to be stopping the train of TyLoo, as they have now won 5 rounds in a row, only losing the pistol and second round. A little bit more of a passive hold from the CT side. There's an aggressive position from Snappy, though, but he doesn't manage to connect the shot.
Yeah, and that missed shot, he's lucky to be alive, and he knows it. Excurate hasn't really been missing this game, so he is given a second chance. And that's also a downside for TyLoo. They've just let what would have been an early man advantage slip through their fingers. On the back of this, they've showed their hand over here towards A. Toward B, rather. Now they're going to start to head up here towards this A bomb site. Modi is watching mid from the boost. Players are here with them. They're going to start to progress out. The boost gets dismantled. Bomb's headed back over here towards this B bomb site. Snappy. Well, you wonder what that missed shot might have done. Excurate now goes down from the man that he could have found earlier on. 40 seconds left. That clock has ticked low. Heroic don't need to rotate anyone off of B anymore. Now they can just keep the split how it is. And they know it. They've got the advantage here. It requires some amazing shots from TyLoo to pull them back into this. Smoke goes down over here at B. They're trying to sell the fake, but it hasn't worked. Heroic, they're going to keep 3 players inside of A, and now the push comes in. Rubino, he's in the pit. He's dropped the bomb, and this could be enough. Somebody's able to refrag it, though. Yugi shuts down somebody. Bomb hasn't been retrieved. 7 seconds. It's going to be close. DD just gets it down in time. So it is going to be 2 versus 3 in the retake. Snappy's holding. If DD peeks up, DD wins the duel. Snappy's gone down, a missed shot. And that could be TyLoo's way back into this round. They have the crossfire. Captain Mo's found the first. Now it's all on Yugi. 16 HP. He's able to get Captain Mo through the pits. And now DD. 1 shot is all that's required from either party, and DD wins it out at 3K to give TyLoo their 14th round. An absolutely stellar performance there from DD. And that is going to be a harsh reality kicking in now for Heroic as they invest everything they've got into this buy. If they lose this, it'll be a force buy for what could very well be the last round of the game.
Yeah, and TyLoo just continue. There's nothing stopping them at the moment over on this T side. We'll have the AWP once again for Yugi. Still yet to see too much from the star of this Heroic side. As said, I expect a lot from him on train, but Inferno definitely looked like a weaker performance from Heroic as a whole. 14-9. Somebody looking for the aggression into the apartments. Hasn't really been challenged. We're going to see the 3-man defense over towards short side. Rubino Moy's Molotov is not going to land, and somebody is going to be setting up. They're looking to just barrel out on towards this A side. It's been going well so far. They line up, but actually, Rubino isn't going to be able to do too much. Another one comes in, Modi finding a kill. Somebody with the trade, another as Modi goes down. And again, it comes down to this retake scenario. The A site has fallen every time that TyLoo want to take it. And it's left with Snappy and Nico. Nico's had a very quiet performance indeed. He goes pushing in, manages to get a first, spots the second, finds him as well. And Snappy will close the round. This time, they get their first buy round on the board. But there is so much money coming back for TyLoo. There is so much left in the bank accounts that the fight is not over yet for Heroic.
No, not at all. And only keeping 2 players left. They have to buy back into this now. That reset is still looming. They would get a stronger buy if they lost now. That is a good thing for them. They have to really focus on starting to build this economy up and breaking down the economy of TyLoo. 14-10, a round that never should have been. Heroic, they're not out of this one just yet, Tom. 2 players over here towards B. Nico with the early peek down Banana along with Snappy. Didn't spot anything initially. That nade gonna find some good damage. I say good damage, 15 isn't that great.
I was sort of looking at it like,
Maybe.
I'm not going to question it, but...
Ooh, Nico, there you go. That's how you throw a
That's
nade.
good damage.
He's going to take some chip damage from the nades. Nico gets flashed in. Captain Mo's gone down. He's been allowed to get away. And it feels like in these last few rounds, Nico is just kind of throwing caution to the wind. But that's good. That's when Nico's deadly. He's grabbed him the early man advantage. Execute's going to go back for the bomb. We haven't really seen any problems been thrown in the way of TyLoo on their T side. TD going to start to progress forward. He's in the smoke. Modi's not ready. Modi doesn't suspect that, because why would you? But at the end of the day, smokes aren't walls.
Thank you for clarifying.
Some people do forget. TD, he's been the man to pull this back and equalize it out. Now the remaining players up to Banana. Nico on the boost. They've left one man here with 14 HP, because once again, Snappy started to rotate away from this B-bomb site. He is now making a return. Rubino's coming with him. But he could very easily get locked out by a singular smoke down in CT. In it blooms. And now Nico up here on top of the boost. One shot is all it takes, and somebody's going to connect it. Snappy, 15 seconds. Going to try and make a play. He has dropped somebody. Going to keep going. The reign of terror is not done yet. Snappy's in with a second. Extra going to go peeking in and finally picks it up. 2 versus 2 in the retake. It comes down to it once again. Yugi and Rubino. Not used to being the players in the retake. Start to push on in. Yugi versus Excurate. Yugi wins it. Now it's DD left. A 3K just rounds ago locked in. The 14th for TyLoo. Now he's got to do it once again. And already Rubino taps on that bomb. Yugi holds the angle. They're going to be able to find it. And that will be an 11th now for Heroic.
Yeah, a couple of rounds in a row. Still haven't built up too much money, so if they do lose a round, they're going to be in big trouble. And the T's getting the bomb down, well, almost. They've got the bomb down more rounds than they haven't in this half by quite a margin, actually. In fact, I don't even know if they haven't got one down because, well, no, actually, second round they didn't. But other than that, they've been winning the rounds off kills anyway, so it's actually quite hard to tell. Either way, I know that the bomb plants have been coming in thick and fast. You've got the CT side investing into that double op setup. The T's actually going to get one in as well. So clearly feeling that the level of aggression coming out from Heroic at the moment is enough to try and counter things. Words, of course, being said by Peacemaker. With TyLoo calling a pause, he gets the chance to have a chat with his team as well. There we go. 4 AWPs in the server at the moment. Snappy, Yugi, DD, and of course, Excurate, the man top of the board at the moment. We are just going to see DD watching towards those apartments. Excurate peeking into mid, so no real challenge into Banana other than that of Captain Mo, who's had a fairly good game so far, but still expecting more. That's a lot of damage. Nade hits him, shot through the wall. Snappy gets the opener. And there is no return to be had.
Yugi's doing another. The double orbs tearing TyLoo limb from limb. This is where things get scary for TyLoo. They had a great lead and they've started to use it. Lose it, rather. Nico's going to fall back into the site. Does have Snappy there. Next, we're going to try and take this peek. He does manage to clear the angle. 55 seconds. We know TyLoo likes to take these rounds slowly. They have 3 smokes, 2 incendiaries. They can clear out oranges. They can smoke off coffins. The only man they're going to have to worry about in this site when these smokes go down is going to be Nico, you'd imagine. But the smoke lands late for coffins. DD's going to get caught off guard. Now Snappy's going to go pushing through that smoke. And this causes problems. Excurate is able to find it. Molotov to delay the push on in. And Nico, all he's got to do now is buy time. Excurate has a good read on the situation. But Nico peeks out. Finds both frags along with Modi. And that is going to be a 12th round for Heroic. They're making the resurgence here. The last 3 rounds have gone their way consecutively. And now they've finally broken TyLoo's bank.
Yeah, although the T's, well, they're low on money. They've got the loss bonus building up behind them. Captain Mo's still going to go for a Catalyst rifle. Excurate will save up all his cash just to make sure he has enough to buy an AWP in this next round. Double nade will be going down Banana, although there hasn't been much of a challenge there early in the rounds, other than from Captain Mo, who this time is not peeking over towards that side of the map. Double op setup will remain in this round. Now, in terms of how that could affect the round, considering there's so many pistols, if they can overwhelm one of these AWPs, pick one up, we know how good Excurate has been with this AWP. We've seen somebody pick one up as well. Not to mention Captain Mo. But here we go. In the corner. Will they check for Modi? He's just going to be waiting. Sat back. DD looking to round. Now, Yugi is the first point of contention. He's going to be there with the AWP. Misses the shot, but now Modi compounds. Sprays down 2. Captain Mo will trade, but they have to spin around, and that's where Yugi's given the opening. Bentet has retrieved that AK, is left completely blind, and a very good NT round coming out from Heroic. Only 1 kill comes in. The Catalyst rifle doesn't achieve much, and now TyLoo, they're going to use their 3rd pause of this map. Tactical in. Heroic knowing that they've now got them on the ropes. 4 rounds in a row for the CT side. 3 more needed, and they close out this first map. Their opponent's pick, and as said, I was not so worried for TyLoo on Inferno. We've already seen they're a good Inferno team. Peacemaker himself said their best map, their strongest map is Inferno, or their favorite at least. But going on to Train, that's where I think Heroic have this all day long, so definitely needed for the step up. Excure actually going to go for a glass cannon AWP just so he can get some extra utility in this round. T-side, the remaining players will have exactly what they want. Enough money to buy up pretty much everything. I think Captain Mo may be missing an HE. That's about it. But this is crunch time. Max loss bonus will be coming in the next round. Excurate is going to be looking for that opener. And once again, the T's looking to try and push down towards Banana, but DD will manage to avoid the majority of those nades, only doing a small amount of damage, 17 HP lost. In the meantime, the T's are looking to try and take control, a much more passive hold in this round. Snappy sat right towards the back of the site with the AWP. In the meantime, you do have somebody waiting just in case there is going to be a rotation from the CT side through middle. Unlikely. But by the looks of things, they're just going to go back to basics. Hit towards this site, have a huge advantage versus these players in a 5 versus 2. And there's going to be no rotation, quickly at least, from the CT side.
Yeah, it all falls onto Snappy and Nico. Snappy's roasting in the fire and flames. He's going to go down, and now it is one man that stands between TyLoo and this bomb site. Nico trying to play for time. He's able to get one, but then the trade comes in. Bomb plant should be going down any second now. Yugi's actually been spotted out in the open. Damage being done onto him. 2 players here very quickly. And Modi, he's going back to A. He suspects that maybe this is all a fake. he's going to be so far away in this rotation to the point where it might even be best for Heroic to save, but then that frag there, that changes this round. Rubino's dropped Buntet. Marty's making his way around. He's finally joined up with the rest of the gang. Those nades find a decent bit of damage out to DD. Rubino, first man in, a missed shot from Excurate. He's going to miss it again, but somebody's there to pick up the pieces. Ooh. Yugi with the no-scope, but now things get interesting. Excurate in the 1v2. Flashback. Yugi is unstoppable. Heroic going to grab themselves a 14th round as Yugi locks it down.
That was very, very close, and the 2 shots hit by Yugi towards the end. It's interesting. In the rest of the round, he actually had a couple of openings onto Buntet. Doesn't connect, but when it mattered is when he picks up the shots. Now, bomb going down gives TyLoo enough money to buy straight back. They're coming right for the throat of Heroic. And the CT side, they've taken a bit of hit to their economy. They keep the double orbs, more importantly, which have been so successful for them so far. I wonder if TyLoo may decide to do something a little bit similar. There was definitely a weakness in that B site. That execute also was excellent. It has to be said. Their take of the site was superb. The nades falling down, completely isolating the AWPer in the corner, not allowing Nico to do anything as well as he was having to save himself. Either way, though, this is aggressive. Straight through the smoke they run. Yugi will take that first pick. He's ready and waiting, and the rest of the players are going to go pushing back towards this short spot. Rubino left in the pit. See if he can do anything here, and burning down there will be Yugi. Gets himself a second. Rubino there to support him as well, and now the remaining 2 players have been completely isolated. It's looking like it's going to be map point for Heroic after what was 5 rounds in a row, a 6th just about to come, unless Buntet can pull off the impossible. It's not going to happen. Flawless from Heroic, and now all they need is 1. I am getting a little bit of sort of deja vu to what we saw in the VP versus MVP game. They get themselves to the point where all they need is 2 rounds. And then 6 in a row come in for the Danes.
Yeah, 6 in a row. The buy's in for TyLoo. It's not looking great. 2 AKs, a Galil, Deagle, and a UMP. Nice bit of utility to go with it. But they've hit a brick wall. And one of the biggest problems has been Yugi, I think it's fair to say. He's really stepped up in these last couple of rounds. Along with I guess Snappy and Rubino would be the other 2 right now.
Well, I think Yugi was on like 9 kills and is now up to 20.
Monster
so
is top of the server almost.
Yeah, he stepped up big.
So now, gonna make the way up banana. Nico goes down to Buntet. Snappy is able to trade. He's gonna fall back. TyLoo don't continue onwards, and they're gonna start to step away from B. Looks like they might try playing for the double fake here, sending Excurate away. He's going to leave the bomb. They're lining up the smokes and flashes ready to go in, and they're either now going to rejoin Excurate when they throw these in, or use him to sell the lurk. And as they step away, it looks like it will be the B fake. The question is, do Heroic take the bait? Right now, no one is moving. Yugi's going to have rotated out of position. He's onto Speedways. Now, there's only 2 players here. This is good timing for TyLoo. 35 seconds, but Modi is dropped 2 over in mid. Excurate is able to trade 1 back. He does have the bomb, but Rubino in the pit, trying to buy time. Excurate just gets right on by. Waiting to see if somebody takes the peek, almost into his crosshair, but not quite. Rubino, such a nuisance, a thorn in their side. That smoke's about to start to fade. Somebody's in the pit as well. Rubino just holding at the angle, waiting desperately for support from his teammates. This is the weirdest stalemate I think I've ever seen. Finally, Rubino's been able to pick it up. And now it's Excurate. It all falls to him. The IGL for TyLoo, the latest edition. He's able to get 2. Snappy's holding the defuse. Smoke's down. 1 second. He's going to get tagged to 5 HP, but he gets it done. Heroic. They win out map number 1. It took 7 rounds in a row, and they managed to do it in regulation, 16-14. Moving on to Train Tom. And after what we saw the other day, I'm not feeling entirely optimistic for TyLoo. Heroic, they looked good. Yugi stepped up massively. Rubino stepped up massively. And Snappy was good throughout.
Yeah, it was. It was really weird in a way, the way that game started with both Yugi and Nico just completely out of it. And it seemed like TyLoo had their number pretty much all the way through the map. But it comes down to crunch time when they need to close out the map. And it just didn't happen for them. They couldn't win a single round. They couldn't find a hole in that defense. Even when they get into a 4 versus 3 retake over on that B side, they're just unable to hold on, shots being missed, and maybe the pressure getting to them a little bit. And, well, it just had props have to be given to Heroic as well for their resilience to then win 7 rounds in a row. They even dropped 1, and it's going to overtime, but they streak all of them together. We see, as you said, a strong performance, a strong resurgence coming out from Yugi on that AWP, and it definitely made a big difference. And I think Rubino in the pit, even though he wasn't necessarily the top fragger for the team, it was just annoying. The fact that he was so difficult to remove, he spent so much time just managing to keep himself alive. And yeah, it really was a great end to that CT half. And now is where things become difficult, because winning this game of Train is going to be so tough, because it is the strongest map for this side. It is the playground of Yugi. I think it's a great map for Nico as well, who was very quiet, and the fact that the other players were able to step up and help bring that over the line without him being there makes it even more worrying, because now, well, he just has the free run to be a little bit more aggressive. We actually saw that towards the end of the game. Things weren't working, so he started like running into the sites and the retakes of the UMP, and actually having very impactful rounds, because it didn't seem that anything else was working. I love seeing Peacemaker in the background, just getting hyped up.
The other thing that I liked as well, it felt like Heroic realised, felt like maybe they were being able to rotate, but the pace that Tyler was particularly tricky to figure out. It was just like wait for the time, get low, close to B and then go A, or vice versa. And Heroic were very willing to rotate initially. The second they gave that up, especially in that last round there, admittedly they did eventually. You saw how much longer they kept Yugi there over towards A. Yeah, I cannot believe this. I've been kicking this. Extra almost pulls off one of the cleanest 23s. He's tagged so low throughout the whole thing. He's finishing top of the floor. Let's not forget, he's doing all this while being brand new to the team and IGL. I think they said BO3 that he's taking it.
I don't know, maybe he has. Yeah, either way, it's on the block. It's still pretty impressive. The AWPA for the team doing very, very well indeed. And yeah, that was a ridiculously close game. And the one great thing about that board is it does say that it was so close. Like, even an extra kill or two could have swung any of those.
'cause you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
Bound only by frozen memories. Lost inside, racing on these broken dreams.
Wherever love goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. And when you're alone, do you say my name? Or you say her name? Yeah. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep, and you and I, we got history, yeah. A time when we never let go, never let go. Ooh, we never let go. We can figure this out. Put your feet down. We are the lucky ones. Swallow your choices.
like a 1v4. It was just like one guy catches, you know, like 1 or 2 players when really he like shouldn't be able to. The trade should have been there. And yeah, I mean, ultimately it was a great return from Heroic. Now we move into trade. And as we saw yesterday, you know, TyLoo got pretty smashed on this map. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
I was thinking of MVP versus VP. Sorry, Tom. Train is still fresh in my head for that exact reason. You know what I mean? But
what are you trying to say?
actually, I don't think this is that bad a map for either team. Although I am going to be favouring Heroic heading into it. Whenever I kind of think of a good map for Heroic, this is definitely one of them. In fact, maybe their best map.
Yeah, I would say that this is their best map. There may be a slight change now that they do have Rubino, but I don't think that was ever the reason they were very good at this map. It's an Orpus Paradise. Yugi, I would say, is arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable anymore. He's probably the best Danish Orpa there is out there at the moment, and he's been playing well. Like, he played towards the end of that map well, built himself into the game, and I'm thinking that he's just going to be impossible to deal with. Hopefully, we'll get to see Excurate do some work as well and step up and put a bit of a fight in.
The one thing that I don't fully understand is like I feel like TyLoo kind of maybe screwed themselves a bit here in the veto, because they took out Nuke. Obviously, they don't play it, right? But then again, I suppose Heroic do. It's like it's such an awkward spot to be in. I guess Train is the better one. It is one that TyLoo opt to play every now and again, but they're not very good on it.
Wasn't it Astralis on Nuke fairly recently?
Yeah.
I don't think you would want, if you don't play a map and they are clearly good at it.
I think if you're TyLoo, you relied on winning Inferno. Like very, very heavily, and they should have done. They were lined up to do it. Because now Train is awkward. It is their worst map along with Nuke. So I'm not entirely sure if they can recover here. The only thing that I think, you know, could maybe propel them forward is if Excurate is landing his shots.
Either way, we should be going into this one fairly soon. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe a little bit more of a freestyle coming out from them, because you do, of course, like there's a lot of individual talent. We've already seen the ability of like somebody to win round with pistols. I don't know. I think that there's still a chance that they could take things here. Bentet has a little bit of a resurgence over on the map. I think he played pretty well. And we are going to be going now into our 9th round. Oh, hello, Mono.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess, Tom, you quickly get repairing. I think it's all good. I think that's how it's meant to be.
Close enough. Either way, we do have TyLoo versus Heroic. On 9th round, I think it could play a decent part in this game. I think if Heroic get that CT side and get off to a strong start with a pistol win, that's when I do feel like this could be over before it really begins. We did see, the one comparison we can make, although it wasn't them playing, is we saw that with VP facing off against MVP. It was a strong start from Virtus Pro. They started to run away with things, and then there was never really a way back into the game for MVP. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen for TyLoo's sake, although I do think Heroic are going to win this map. I hope that it's a strong map. I hope it's a good map for either side, even though it's not necessarily one that TyLoo will want to be playing. And if they do manage to take it over to Mirage, then I do think it's anybody's game. It would be a real showing from them to win one of their weaker maps versus a strong trained team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it'd be a testament to the improvement that Excurate brings to this roster. But it's going to be very tricky. There's no denying it. I don't want to come into this, you know, kidding ourselves that this map is going to be like even odds. This is a map that Heroic should be winning, and they should be set up now to win this series 2-0. And the reason I do that is because now, if TyLoo do manage to win, it makes it that much more impressive. Like, I don't want to come into this making out that this is by any chance on this map at least a 50-50 setup. So it is going to be the case that TyLoo, they get to start over on this CT side. This gives them potential now to find some early success.
Yeah, and actually Rubino playing more of a supportive role already. He's given over a CZ to Yugi. He's thrown the smoke in as well. Excurate will be there to start things off. Looking for Nico, but the trades quickly come in. Bentet and Didi have to try and turn to face these oncoming players. Bentet gets one, but that is all, and Excurate has to try and clutch it. The pistol round going the way of Heroic. It is going to be the CT side start, though, worth noting for TyLoo, but they still need to get themselves rolling. We saw them manage to win a round with the pistols over on Inferno. I think it's going to be a fair bit more difficult, especially when it comes to those sort of CZ plays we see from somebody a lot of the time. He needs to go fairly aggressive, get close, and that can be quite difficult in train, especially if there's an aggressive push from the T side as well. Already, we're going to see a couple of players heading over towards that B site. Nade's going to be thrown out, and by the looks of things, the T's are just looking to gamble straight on towards this A site. Snappy already finding the opening, and a second as well. Shutting down a couple of the players. Didi will manage to get one back, and Bentet and Excurate are going to try and do a little bit more.
Pretty clean round for Heroic. They get themselves a second. Some damage done in the form of Snappy and Moddy. Now a chance for Heroic to make money. Gonna have the SMGs out for Snappy and Nico. Everyone else on the rifles. And for TyLoo, Excurate keeping some extra cash in the bank, wants to get the AWP as early as possible. I have to agree with this sentiment. This is a map that, you know, your ability to AWP can kind of make or break either one of these sides. And it's the only map where we see some teams actually break out a triple AWP on the CT side, and it's actually like that, you know, pretty viable.
It's not a bad start from Captain Mo. Just spamming away with that USP. We'll net him the first. Now, bomb going down on B. There's not really any hope for this. Somebody picks up a MAC-10. I'm somewhat hoping he just goes aggressive and tries to do some damage, because we have seen like players in the past like keep weapons into the next round like a MAC-10. I'm not really a big fan. It lets you have extra utility, I suppose, but it's just such a sort of unnecessary risk. And well, Yugi, stat padding up to 3 kills in this round already. Obviously not wanting to take much of a risk, and the MAC-10 does actually go and try and get himself a kill, but and well, I wonder if Yugi may go for this now. Just on for the ace. It's an eco ace. It's not anywhere near as impressive. In fact, will actually be I think the bomb to get the final kill. Either way, 3-0. Heroic doing exactly what they've needed to so far. I'll be interested to see, will there be an AWP? I think there is. Yeah, Yugi's going to bring that in straight away. Excurate has his in hand as well, so we will get this AWP battle facing off early in the game. Now, Yugi was very slow to start in the previous map, and that did give Excurate sort of free roam. He was right at the top of the board, right up until the point where Yugi seemed to wake up into the match, and that was where the whole game turned into the favor of Heroic on Inferno. Now we'll get to see if that AWP can do the same in this matchup.
Yeah, Didi over here on the ramp. To be holding fairly close. He does have Excurate rotating around into connector to try and help out. Smoke's going to go down. Yugi's able to open up. Excurate does get one before he's dealt with, and now Didi doesn't last long. Going to be 3 versus 4 in the retake. Yugi's just dismantling TyLoo with this AWP. Bentet and Captain Mo forced to try and save, and that's going to be a 4th round for Heroic. Once again, kept insanely clean.
I love how somebody just gets absolutely clotheslined the second he gets anywhere near that site. And while CT side just going to be looking to try and hold on to their remaining weapons, they'll have 2,900 coming in the next round. I don't think they'll force it. Probably just come in with some pistols alongside the rifles that they have. From a T side perspective, I'm a little bit surprised they haven't gone for a bit more of a hunt. They haven't built up a ridiculous amount of money, so that's probably why we haven't seen them push so far down. But they do have a decent bank. They could have looked to try and take this gun away, and Captain Mo almost caught running to try and pick up that AWP. He won't manage it. It will be 4-0. And I think the CT side, as I said, probably just going to get a couple of pistols in this round, try and do some damage. wait to make sure that they can get the AWP in the next.
Yeah, Tom, you'll be glad to know, at least for your prediction, that the last time TyLoo played this map was about 2.5 months ago. So they haven't been very active on it. The last team they beat was MVP.
Who I don't think are a very good trained team, so...
I get that impression too.
That's not really anything to go on. Either way, bit of a push coming in towards Ivy. Captain Mo is one of the rifle players. He's had big rounds over on Inferno. Let's see what he can do here. Spots out Rubino, sprays one, but it will be a trade from Snappy. Just a 1-for-1, which considering there's only 2 rifles, that really isn't too bad. And Yugi just going to spend the time to get rid of that extra gun. Doesn't want to risk it going in, although they can still go and retrieve the other rifle. Sneaking onto the site has been Nico. Managing to find a first. Somebody round the corner. Normally great with that CZ, but Nico just knocking him down. Spray actually a bit missed, and Bentet will at least be able to trade one back. Push going to continue onto this site. Didi left with that CZ once again. His opponent's low. He catches one at least, and there should be a rifle for him to find. He's done a lot of damage here, but there will still be another round for Heroic. 5-0 up. Now comes the big buy.
Yeah, big buy for TyLoo. Going to have the AWP out on Execute. The only downside to this CT side when you get the max loss bonus is, unlike what we really see happen with the T side, there are rounds where even when you lose with the max loss bonus, because it is so much more expensive to buy up on the CT side, that you just can't do it. So you can end up in situations where you buy, and then you lose, and then you have to save a round, and then you buy, you lose, you save, and you just get stuck in that rut. So it is important that TyLoo start to chain some rounds together, not only for themselves, but to start to break down at this Heroic economy. Double up setup board out. Captain Mo has one of these. He's going to go blow for blow with Yugi. Down here towards Ivy. That's a devastating battle to take. Yugi's going to go ahead and retreat. Joins up with the rest of the gang. Looks like they're all in a position to line up some smokes out towards A. Yeah, imagine this is just going to be 4 players. Out through main with Modi peeking in late into connector. With how TyLoo is set up, they're playing this very passively. That seems to be their go-to style on the CT side. So now the push comes in. Somebody going to be an old hell. Rubino, first man into the site, going to discover that it is indeed clear. There are 4 players sat on the outskirts ready to push in. The bomb plant looks to come through, and it's 5v5 in the retake. So far, I think it's only the AWPs that have fired a bullet in this round.
What? This is really weird. The Rubino is going to catch one. See, in a normal round scenario, I would suggest saving here for the CT side, but this is what they almost planned. They're going to try and get towards that bomb plant. They don't even have much utility to try and fight this back. This is just so easy so far for the CT side. They haven't had much of a challenge. Finally, Captain Mo will actually pick up a couple, and he has got 4 kills, but it's not enough. That's the question. It's not enough. He does all of this work with that AWP, but it's still the round going the way of the T's. And this is what I think, like, on maps like Inferno, strategies like that can work. Like playing just on the retake A is so difficult because there's so many angles to clear, and they didn't have much utility. They didn't have the incendiaries to force players out of the site. I think they needed some sort of opening, and instead, they kind of just gave an easy round over. Yeah, granted, it came close in the end, but I still don't feel like Heroic really broke a sweat.
Yeah, I mean, this A bomb site on Train, it's so important that you find the frags on Heroic as they enter. That's like the sort of dynamic around Train, is that the sites are hard to retake, but easy to hold. You know, Heroic are expecting to take heavy casualties and then win it out, perhaps being like even a man down in a retake can be tricky enough on Train. Because you've got so many angles where you can just play passively from, or wrap around, that you leave the CTs with very little time to actually get them all checked. And in a 5-on-5, you would expect the T side to win. So now Modi Look at him go. Look at how far he's got. They're not ready for this. There are still 2 players inside the site. One is going to start taking shots from behind. He's going to go down. They still have more players to worry about, but they've gotten in very quickly. This round was looking good for Heroic, but now that's been turned on its head. In the blink of an eye, is just Yugi left. He's 1v4, has the AWP in hand. Going to turn his attention now to saving as he backs away. It is going to be a round for TyLoo. And quite crucially, if they get to keep 4 players alive and pick up all of these weapons, that's also a very good recovery from their economy, rather.
Yeah, this would be an absolutely massive boost to them. They're going to go hunting. Now, in terms of Heroic, this AWP save isn't crucial. They've got enough money that they can buy into the next round no matter what. So I don't think that they want to overface for this weapon. It would be great to take it out of the hands of Yugi, but that's a lot easier said than done, especially with the position he's currently hiding in. I don't think it's going to be happening. So TyLoo, they manage a round from very little, and so far Captain Mo really has been the catalyst for this team. 8 kills since he's had that AWP. In fact, 4 in the last 2 in this one, so only 2 rounds prior to that. T-side are going to be able to buy back up, and in fact, could probably buy into the next round as well. So no real hindrance from them yet. That is the advantage of winning 6 rounds in a row, although they did take a bit of a hit in the previous one. Of course, only 1 player surviving in the form of Yugi. Now the double AWP setup will be brought back in. Excurate, with 4 kills on the board so far, has that other AWP, and somebody hitting 007 peek out. Yugi takes a tag early on in the round. Somebody is going to be playing fairly aggressive, and Excurate wins that battle. Yugi is gone. That's his first death, I believe, as well. Flashbang going to come in. Somebody's completely overwhelmed, and that will be Pop Dog into the control of Heroic if they want it. But as of yet, they've fallen back. Still watching for any aggression over towards the B side. There's 2 players remaining on that site. It will be both rifle players, meaning the defense of this A site is purely AWPers. So a faster player smoke setup could completely isolate TyLoo. And while the smokes do look like they're being lined up just outside that A site, up in an aggressive position will be Excurate. Still watching to see if anybody comes out towards Pop. Smokes will fall in. This is going to create a fallback from the remaining players. And actually, in fact, it's almost a full rotation. DD starts making his way back, but it's all just an elaborate ruse. The push has come in from Nico. He's trying to sell this as a bit of a fake. And I think he may have got a little bit of a misread here, thinking that there's nobody here. Does some damage. Excurate takes his head clean off. It's going to be a 4v3 retake when the bomb goes down.
Nice shot from Snappy. Keeps things even. Modi going to be in with 1 more. Excurate tries to sneak into the site. And pays for that with his life. Now, Bentep and DD left. Bomb ticking down. Rubino and Modi both just holding passively, watching that bomb. This is why retaking A is so difficult. Rubino is going to come out. Snappy peeks as well. Spray transfer from DD, nets him both. And now it's Snappy. Tries to deny, but he won't be able to. And TyLoo, they are back with a second. There should have been no way for that to happen. Perhaps a little bit too aggressive on those peaks, committing too much. And when Rubino goes down, the pressure then gets turned up for the trade to come in. And that ultimately allows DD to find both of those frags. There should have been no way back into that. But there's TyLoo in with a second.
Yeah, starting to come alive a little bit into this one. It will still be another buy up for the T side. Both teams taking a bit of a hit, although actually the CTs have slightly more money. Very, very slightly. It's still going to be the loser of this round in quite a bit of trouble. Faster play looking to come out from this T side already. DD has been spotted. Actually, T's initially going aggressive, maybe hoping that if they got that kill onto DD, they could just barrel onto the site. Instead, they have slowed right down. Flashbang going to be lined up by Nico, looking to set them into this site. There's a couple of players here. Excurate will get the opener onto Modi from above. DD with another for himself as well, leaving only 3 players remaining. And in fact, everything's going wrong at the moment for this T side. Yugi and Nico, the 2 highlighted at the beginning as the players who would be here on this map are the only two remaining. Nico fakes out the bomb plant, but isn't actually going to get it down just yet, and that could be quite a big plant for his team. And now Yugi is left alone with so much left to do. His angle will be watched, and Captain Mo decapitates him. This double op setup has been fairly successful so far for TyLoo. Now the T side, well, their money is not in a good state.
Yeah, TyLoo, they have been able to break that T-side economy while still keeping a fairly healthy one for themselves. Awkward spot to buy in because you can actually buy up on 2 of your players. But Heroic know how important utility is on this map and how important it has been to a lot of these takes. So you imagine it might just be a partial buy-in. No, they're going to go for it.
I don't know if I agree with that. It's not the worst buy in the world, and but the fact that the CT side had 4 players surviving in the last round makes me think that it probably wasn't worth it. Although they've already got 6 over on the T side. I know that their CT side, they're going to be feeling more confident. I may just want to try and get as many as humanly possible. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this buy. We'll see if they can make it work. If they get a bomb plant, they'll get AKs in the next round anyway. So maybe that is one of the reasons they have gone for an investment here. Yugi will be there with a scout. A little bit of aggression coming out over towards this Ivy spot. Somebody will be there. And Xcura is doing the same over towards B, looking to just push portions of the map. Gain some information. As you said, smoke setups, the utility has been important for Heroic so far. So they are going to throw the initial nades in over towards the A side, but it's Captain Mo to actually kick things off with that AWP. Bentet with another, already nailing the second frag. He's actually looking to try and go flashing through. He's running into the man, planting the bomb, and it will at least go down. So that is the money made. That's exactly what Heroic needed in terms of having somewhat of a buy in the next round. But that, well, in terms of damage, did next to nothing. And TyLoo will build up even more cash.
I think Captain Mo is discovering right now that he really likes this map. He's been key in these last few rounds that TyLoo have won. For somebody, he's discovering he really doesn't like this map. He was one of the big-time players for them on Inferno. Currently 1-8.
Well, he was a man that yesterday loved using the SMG and the CZ, and this map, not really the best for either of those guns, if I'm honest. We will have a small investment coming in from the T side. They'll make sure that they get a full buy into the next anyway, but it does give a chance for TyLoo to get right back into this map. Aggressive position from somebody, sprays down one, but it will be the trades. And, well, I'm starting to wonder who the primary AWPer is for this team, as Captain Mo has stepped up massively. Another couple of kills coming in for him. He's 15-5 at the moment. Now, he was always the AWPer for this team until Xcura came into the roster. So it's no surprise that he is, well, very good with this AWP, but this is a different showing altogether. Now they've even got 3 snipers. Somebody has had enough of being killed, so he's decided to buy up an auto as well. It is quite audacious, and actually, if we see a faster play out, maybe a B take from Heroic, they could come into some real problems. However, doesn't look like it. Ivy is going to be the initial point of contention for this T side. The majority of their team making their way to that point. The man who's been defending it has been Captain Mo. He's just going to be holding onto the angle. Yugi waiting just around the corner. Pop flash will force him off. Now, repeat here will be a little bit risky, but he takes it anyway. He's just on fire at the moment. Takes down Rubino. Will be traded back by Yugi eventually, so... Oh, the king is dead. The question is, will Yugi now take up that mantle as the king?
Well, the auto sniper going to be charming in down through Ivy. That is a terrifying sound to hear. They're going to start to line up these smokes and flashes in towards this A-bomb site. You still have Modi holding over at Pop, waiting to see if any aggression comes through. He could deviate in a little bit later on, but no, it might just be a change. They're going to go ahead and maybe try to throw a fake in. It does look to be the case. The utility's gone out toward this A-bomb site. It does keep 3 players there. Now we're going to be looking at DD alone and inside of B. Here's the footsteps, the jig is up. Modi's able to decapitate him on the entry, and Excurate rotates in to do what he can. 2 snipers in this retake, Excurate on the AWP. Somebody rotating in with that auto sniper. You do struggle with it in the retake. Flash goes high, Nico's been spotted, Excurate eyes him up. Yugi and Snappy left, both holding this passive. Gonna tap on the bomb. Molotov goes out, there's no smoke to get rid of that. Snappy goes peeking in, keeps the pressure on. That timer ticking lower and lower. Now they have to go for the peek, and Bentet, he's going to get shut down. Snappy stops the defuse. Excurate left 1 versus Yugi. He sticks it, and Yugi wins the duel. 8 HP, and he locks in another round for Heroic.
Yeah, way too close for comfort there. And a nice attempted retake. Now, of course, the B site is one of the more retakeable sites in the game, if not the most. I think statistically it was at least. And the passive style of play of holding it has somewhat gone out the window a lot of the time. So only just work. And we see the old classic of the Molotov bouncing off the door. The thing is, though, TyLoo still have lots of money to buy back in. The double AWP will remain. Excurate is going to be going for that opening pick. Didi with a little bit of aggression over towards that B side as well. But once again, it's a similar looking setup for TyLoo. A little bit more on that A site, although the rotation looking tempted from Bunter. Ivy has been a difficult spot to take, and in fact we will see, at least for now, the fallback from this T side. Maybe a smoke setup in for Heroic. Now both teams' economies again is on the brink. Snappy setting up the smoke, the rest of the team throwing in the same. As said by Peacemaker, it's an execute-heavy team. Excurate is going to be up close with that AWP. Maybe a little bit of a surprise factor. Rubino's already found one, and they've gone straight past him. However, did Yugi just spot something? It seemed like he may have had an inkling that his opponent is there. Again, the bomb's going to be going down without a single T dying yet, and Nico now gets rid of Excurate as well. They're just being cleaned up one by one. Didi and Captain Mo. Well, now just Captain Mo. He's been the star of the show for this CT side. This is a big ask, and finally we see that he is human. He misses the shot onto Snappy. It will be another round on the board for Heroic. And now the CT side, well, they've loved those double AWPs. Now they can barely even afford rifles.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a very dire spot, Tom. They can't even afford rifles. They can't barely afford them. They just can't. There's 3 players that could pick one up, but they wouldn't have armor with it. Somebody could get a rifle with armor. It's an awkward situation to be in. You imagine this is where they partial buy in, so that they can full buy into the last round of the half. If they get the partial buy, you know, we can see a scout be bought out for somebody. We don't have to keep it. He's been struggling a bit. But they could field a decent buy with armor behind the pistols. Nice bit of utility to accompany it. That does look to be the case. Heroic, though, looking really good. This is a T side of train, let's not forget. You know, moving into the CT side, they're going to feel that much more comfortable.
Oh yeah, as well. At the T side of train is another one of those maps where you can just feel like you're running straight into a brick wall at times. It's even happened to Heroic. The 5 rounds in a row came in for TyLoo in the middle of the park, but the question is, can they now get all of the rounds either side? Modi waiting patiently as a push will be coming into upper B. Somebody leading the way. So good with that CZ. Of course, he gets the kill, but he's lost 2 teammates on the A site. Bomb will be going down without much problems. Somebody is could be looking to try and take over this pop control. They're going to drop down together, but it won't work out. Rubino gets both. Didi's the only man surviving, and even that doesn't last very long. It'll be 9-5. CT side will have a bye for the final round of the half. There's a chance that they could drop a secondary AWP over to Captain Mo if they really wanted it. I feel like that might be the conversation that's going on at the moment. It isn't going to happen. I'm quite surprised by that, really, because he has been the star. I don't want to take one away from Excurate. It's just somebody goes heavy on the utility. I wonder if maybe having that AWP had more value for TyLoo.
I'd have to agree with you there, Tom. Captain Mo has been a beast on that secondary AWP. At least on this map. I got their... Gonna have the rotation over here towards Ivy Healthy on. Captain Mo through the smoke, gonna get caught by Rubino. And that's the big threat of TyLoo taken down. Man advantage gathered for Heroic. Gonna be lining up smokes once again over here towards A. You still have Excurate waiting. Holding the angle from connector. 2 players rotated into this B-bomb site. Smokes and Flash is going to rain in towards this A site, and they are going to go pushing on through them. Rubino is the point man. He's the one to try and make the magic happen. Somebody's there. He's been held back. He's going to start to progress through this smoke. Does deny the plant, but Rubino's able to trade. That's bought time. Rubino's in with a second. His third in total. Now he's going to look to get the bomb plant as well. Didi and Buntet, the 2 players from B, tasked with trying to retake this site. Snappy's going to dispatch of Didi, and it's Buntet. 1 versus 3. Often the man we praise for TyLoo. He has to step up massively here, and Heroic just sat pretty in the afterplant. Rubino holds the angle. Rubino picks himself up a 4th, and Heroic, they're going to be 10-5 in the end of this first half.
Yeah, and it seemed like different players each time sort of stepping up. Snappy had a phenomenal half, 18 and 10 in the scoreboard. Rubino coming to life towards the end, and Yugi, of course, I think he was 9 and 0 at one point, so slowing down a little bit from the beginning, but it's looking like somewhat what we expected. 10-5, dominating T side. There was some hope from TyLoo when they had the cash in play. They had all of that extra money. The double AWP setup will be coming in quite often for them, but now Heroic going onto their CT side. If they win this pistol, I think the game is done.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, for Heroic, it looks very dominant right now, and TyLoo, the players that they need to step up are not. And, I mean, that's always kind of been the case for them on this map. It's one that they've struggled on a lot. We see that whenever they've played it versus a lot of the European teams who, aren't some of them not even all that great at trade, they still manage to struggle quite a lot. So versus Heroic now, where this is arguably their best map, I mean,
I don't even think it's arguable. It is their best map.
That's the biggest issue for TyLoo. Is like this is their worst nightmare of a matchup, because their 2 weakest maps just so happen to be Heroic's 2 best, or 2 very, very strong maps, at least, because Nuke obviously is kind of
there aren't that many
matter
teams
of
to play.
debate. Yeah. But then it just becomes for TyLoo, like, do they veto the map that they never play, or do they give Heroic their best map? And,
I think, to be honest, I do think they made the right choice.
No, definitely. I have to agree with you there. But that's what I mean. Like, in terms of this matchup, TyLoo, it all relied on them winning that first map. But I'm not talking like they're out of this just yet, Tom. It's 5-10. The pistol around here carries great importance. And Heroic, they're going to be feeling good. Sat in the driver's seat right now, 10-5. Didi and Captain Mo going to go ahead and clear out Pop Dog.
They faked it.
Ooh, going to go charging in. Look at that. Modi's already on 2 HP. Damage being done, but it's Yugi. Oh, Yugi rains down death. He's looking for a little bit more, just ducks away, and in the blink of an eye, it's all on Didi. He did good damage early on, but Rubino, Yugi, and Snappy hold down the fort on A.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting strategy there. They try and sort of fake out using the smokes over towards the B site. The problem is that nobody really rotated. They had a little bit of a look, but it's such a fast rotate that the players didn't really get caught off by the Molotov by the time they got in. They realized there was no one there, and then they just double back over towards that A site and destroy absolutely everyone. Once again, we'll have the force buy in now. We saw TyLoo and Inferno manage to win one of these second-round buys. The problem is it's so much more difficult on Train to get these closer angle positions, and these guys love the CZ so much, where the close angles are just going to be so much more beneficial to this gun. But getting those are just difficult. Already, they've lost the first man. Modi going aggressive. Further back, we'll see the rifles of this CT side. Through the smoke goes one. Rubino's catching players left, right, and center. Eventually, he goes down. Actually, Yugi's going to be missing a shot, but he has support at least. Modi closing it down to just somebody. Now, he is the CZ master, but unfortunately, even he can't do anything there. 3 kills, 12-5. And it is going to be just again, maybe a P250 or two. I don't even really think they can afford that. And TyLoo are going to be facing from a 13-5 deficit to try and get back in on their opponent's map pick. They're going to need to step up. They're going to need to step up big.
Yeah, I mean, the level of which they're going to have to play will be insane.
How are you feeling about your prediction?
Not great, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt better. But you know what they said? They said the same thing about Renegades when they were down 0-11. Here we go. 5 players over here towards this B bomb site for TyLoo. They're going to go rushing in. Nico's here. Nico wants to try and make fat stacks. And Nico, well, he makes a little bit of money. Not exactly anything to write home about. $1,200.
He
was
wasn't
hoping...
snappy
exactly. There you go, Tom. Nice meme. He makes some money. And now he's probably going to likely stick on that UMP. Rubino going to stick on the MP9. Ooh, maybe not. Going to throw every... Ooh, no. He's going to take the FAMAS instead. That's because they had to upgrade to the AWP on Yugi anyway. How much further are we going to zoom? Just right into his eyes. Heroic, they're 2 rounds away from map and series point here on train. Their map pick. So far, they've shown utter dominance. Of course, that was on the T side. They've won the pistol in the consecutive rounds. And now for TyLoo, they're down here towards Ivy, trying to win it back on their buy. Rubino holds close. The flash going to go over his head. Somebody's able to find that first frag. And now Yugi, the man who was responsible for trying to trade, does miss the follow-up shot. So the man advantage taken early on by TyLoo. Going to be extended that much more as Modi goes down, getting aggressive over in main. Snappy. Actually going to try his hand aggression down towards Ivy. It goes down as well. So now Yugi desperately trying to fight for his life on the bomb train. Buntet finds him. It's all on Nico. 1v4. TyLoo, they're not ready to give this one up just yet. They get a 6th round. Unless Nico can clutch 1v4, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I feel like your prediction, at least in this sense, is safe. Nico.
You know, I love Nico, but this one is a little bit too out of the question. I think he's looking for this M4, and there are 2 players watching it. But he's got... I can't think of what the saying is when you have the ability to steal. Ooh.
Burglar?
No. Yeah, Nico. Oh, he's such a burglar, Tom. Nico the burglar.
Or maybe like Deal or No Deal, or one of them. Like you can steal the box away. Actually, that might have just been like a robbery on the show. I'm not sure what happened.
I didn't know that was a thing, Tom.
No, it wasn't. Well, you can switch, but it's not quite the same.
Switching isn't stealing.
Well, it is if I go into your house and switch something you
like,
don't want.
what's it, like no, sleight of hand.
Isn't that for just reloading?
No, that's, oh, you cod. Cod boy.
Cod boy.
It's a fairly
My
fishy
British.
superhero name. I didn't hear what you said.
I said I am British.
Joke.
It was a fish and chips joke.
Ah.
There you go.
Good
The classic.
quality memes here on the second stream. Somebody, well, he's already out over here towards Ivy. DD's with him. They're grouped up. Modi, Nico, Rubino, Snappy. 4 names that you wouldn't want to run into currently reside on this A-bomb site. Rubino's going to turn his attention back towards the angle at Ivy. Ooh, Captain Mo's gone down. Nico pushing through the smoke. They don't anticipate Snappy. He resides over in Olaf. And Sindri going to go out. Modi finds himself another kill. DD does what he can, but ultimately it's only 1. And now it's Excurate. The AWP for TyLoo back against the wall. He's going to be dancing around, but Modi, not a fan of his moves. Bests him on the dance floor.
You don't like dancing. Either way.
Fan of karaoke, I hear, though.
Yes.
If you remember Shanghai, Tom.
I
do you remember Shanghai?
I do remember Shanghai.
I'm surprised you do.
I'll question if Nico remembers Shanghai. He does have a beautiful singing voice, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, big fan of Screamo.
Let's shout out to Risk as well. He's a very good singer.
Yeah. Here we
Either
go.
way, 1 AK, 4 CZs. to try and save them here. This is all they have to invest into this round. Once again, I spoke about this as Train. They've got the Catalyst. They've got Nico on the site alone. Snappy leading the way in frags, 23 and 13. But let's see, can Nico do the damage here? Already dinks up 2 players, gets the first kill. Second already falls his way, spraying away, does the damage. And Yugi's there to pick off 1 more. It's down to Exker and Buntet, and they've just been absolutely wrecked. Only 1 player lost, and that was the man himself on the site. 15 to 6. They'll get the bomb plant. They'll get an extra little injection of cash. But ultimately, it comes down to very little for TyLoo. 15 and 6. The third map seeming very, very far away. And while you spoke about Renegades, they don't quite need 11 rounds in a row. They do, however, need 9.
Yeah, this is going to be one for the record books if they get it done, Tom. But I think for Heroic, the pressure's all gone now. They're at the finish line, and they can just coast it across the end. Although, that's never gone well for any team that's ever adopted that mentality. So let's see. The push comes in out towards, let's say, bomb site, at least initially. Yugi, with his prying eyes, going to be looking down range. Just in one scope. Spots the man over towards the train. Going to be tagged by somebody. The scout ultimately not enough to find it, though. Does do some damage. Going to keep creeping in, and Yugi, he has been tagged low. But that doesn't stop him taking this fight. Buntet baits the shot out the nades, finding a little bit of chip damage. Snappy going to be in with 1 more. The Orps just picking TyLoo apart. That's the bomb drop now, and Yugi has got it in his sights. There should be no way for TyLoo back into this. Captain Mo now falls. It's all on Buntet. 1 versus 5, and Modi will shut him down. Heroic, we asked did they have what it takes to win this out 2-0. Tom, you said they did, and they proved you right. A convincing 2-0 win. First map did come down to the wire, in all fairness. It was a good showing from TyLoo early on, but it was a map that they had to win. As Train, somewhat the home of Heroic, of course they looked good on it. They're able to close that out very, very quickly. And that now means that they're going to take this 2-1.
Yeah, no, it's not the end for TyLoo,
I mean,
yeah.
in the group stage, the grand scheme,
yeah.
not in this matchup, just to clarify.
I knew it,
Not for you, Tom, just in case.
But either way, that does not mean it is the end of TyLoo just yet. They will go into the 1 and 2 bracket. Strong performance over on Inferno. I do think, I have to agree though, the map pool of Heroic, just it sort of played against them because they were going to get 1 of the 2 maps that they hated. They went for Train, which again is the lesser of 2 evils, I believe, but the fact is they needed Inferno. If they'd taken it to Mirage, who knows could have happened. And I feel like they will feel a little bit hard done by the fact that they did have like a 7-round lead at one point on Inferno and ended up throwing it away. Or no, was it 7-round? No, I think it was 5-round lead. Either way, they were in a strong position to actually take that map, and it ended up throwing away.
Yeah, it was 14-9 at one point in time. So yeah, that was a 7-round streak necessary for Heroic to win that out, and they managed to do so. So I think we can say there that TyLoo, even though they looked good on Inferno, they had to win that. And ultimately, as a result of them, kind of throwing that away, I think the better team did win here. Heroic looked very good. Everything kind of slotted into place for them. And, Yugi, took him a while to warm up. The second he was there, he was just on a tear the whole time. And I was also quite happy with Snappy. All of these rhyme, entirely by mistake, of course, but yeah. No, I think that was good. And the addition of Rubino, even though it's taken a little bit of time kind of to figure out how to slot him in because of their style, I think he's going to complement this team, very well. I think better than S-Tag did as well. That was a real issue for them, right? You kind of bought this player and you go, okay, you're replacing Valder. No easy task. But anyway, they can probably tell you about it better than I can over on the stage.
Hello, everybody. Snappy, we are live. No, don't worry. It's not a problem at all. Congratulations. That was quite a comfortable victory for you guys against TyLoo. Did you have any reservations with the fact that they beat Fnatic yesterday?
We knew that TyLoo was good on Inferno. We actually expected them to pick Cobblestone against us, so we were quite surprised that we ended up on Inferno. We tried to play our own game, and it was a real struggle. We could easily have lost Inferno, but with this team, we've done a lot of great comebacks lately, and I'm glad we pulled it through again.
Yeah, did you have any particular expectations of TyLoo as a team? How did you guys prepare for them specifically?
Today we actually didn't prepare because we got the matchup at 2 a.m. The draw was really late last night, so we decided we were just going to play our own game, focus on ourselves. So that's how we approached it.
All right, and you mentioned focusing on yourselves. You've got Casper here, who's head of sports for Refresh, looking after you guys and Astralis. And I overheard him just saying now you guys got to see you at the gym at 4. We're just going to do some light stuff, like physical stuff. How does that work in terms of like the structure and him like looking after you guys at this event? Because it sounds like he's a great positive influence.
He's definitely putting some new stuff on the map that we need to get used to. But having him here and getting some structure and having a guy that everybody listens to and respects a lot, that's certainly great. And we are gonna try to follow his advices as good as we can.
And with regards to you personally, how is it playing with Rubino?
It's amazing. He's really good with the info, coming up with ideas. I actually needed a guy for some time that helps me more with the mid-round stuff, and I think Rubino's really great at that. So the addition is the correct one. There's no doubt.
Does it help with regards to the fact that yourself and Rubino have kind of like maybe, and of course Modi, you guys are kind of like the more experienced on the team than Yugi and Nico. Sorry, my mind was going blank there. You can kind of guide them, and help them and show them from your experience.
I don't know. I really think a lot of that with the experience stuff that's sometimes kind of overrated. Both Nico and Yugi have played on LAN for 1 year, so now they have the experience on LAN. But regarding stuff like giving info, giving input, I think it really comes down to what kind of player and what kind of person you are. I think there's multiple players that are young that are going to do it, and there's multiple players that are old that's not going to do it. So I don't really think that comes much down to experience. That's really how you are.
Okay, and you're now on a 2-game win streak. Overall, though, 2-1 win-to-loss ratio. Can you carry that momentum forwards going into your next match and potentially make it into that top 8?
We hope so. We have 2 chances now, and yeah, it's looking good.
All right, well, excited to see what happens next in the competition for you guys, and congratulations once more.
Yeah, thank you very much, of course, from Parla and Snappy. And I actually like that. I like that Snappy was just honest there. It's just like, yep, no, I don't agree with like the idea of like, oh, because you're older or because you played longer, it necessarily means that you'll give the input. It just gives true props to Rubino saying, okay, yeah, this guy has not only come in and actually put up some decent numbers as well in this series, but it also come in and helped with the mid-round calls and helped with how they've been able to switch things up. And they had an impressive T-side on train, so I think that input definitely went down well. Of course, that was the weaker of the 2 maps for TyLoo, no doubt. But at the same time, credit where credit is due.
Yeah, no, they did look good. And I think, going forward for Heroic, they only need to win one more match now, sorry. I mean, very easy if that's the case. One more match.
And they need to win this 3-0, otherwise it doesn't count.
To make it through to the playoffs. So that is always exciting. I think a very exciting prospect for them, considering they've just bought Rubino and having that much improvement. Like Heroic, a team that attends a lot of these big events, but never, we never normally see them out of the group stage. So, being able to then come to their first with this new lineup and instantly achieve some success, that's going to be fantastic for them. And as well as that, I mean, I've never really heard too much spoken from the Heroic guys. Obviously, we spoke to them a lot ourselves, but in terms of like the interviews, and I mean, the amount of light that Snappy just kind of shed on it all there, how well spoken and everything he was, I would love to hear more of that. So I hope to see them do well at this event. And of course, there's a comparison between Captain Mo and Snappy. And yeah, I mean, he had a fantastic performance there on train. There's no doubt about it. It's just the issue is while it was a good map for him, it's not a good map for the rest of the team. That's kind of the problem there.
Yeah, well, it was a great CT side from him. But on the T side, I think that was where they looked very flat indeed. And I didn't really see any sort of way back from them from that. They needed to win Inferno. It didn't happen. Either way, that does send them down 1 and 2. And, of course, that means 2 and 1 for Heroic. We've already had